Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Tiffany Lee.
And I'm Joe Ellison. Now, preparations for winter weather are underway right now. Here are some steps that you can take to keep your family safe and even prepare your home.
We spoke with the Deputy Director of Emergency Management for Washington County. He says one of the biggest issues during extreme cold is frozen pipes.
He says start by sealing any cracks. Make sure your pipes are insulated. If they do freeze, he says call a plumber. Never try to thaw them with any type of open flame. But if you do have to do it yourself, recommends using warm towels or a hair dryer.
When it comes to heating your home, he says carefully follow all instructions with space heaters. Never try to use your oven or any outdoor heat source. Another big concern is power outages.
Have your home ready to react to the potential for you to go without power for a day or two. Make sure that you got good food supplies, make sure that you have good water supplies, make sure that your cellular devices are charged up and ready to go.
He also says don't forget the little things like checking on your neighbors, bring your pets inside, and stay up to date on weather alerts through apps or local news.
The 5 News Weather Impact Team is here to help you prepare for the storm and see you through it. So what questions do you have before the snow moves in? Text them to Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert at 479-785-5000. Scott will take the top questions and answer them tonight at 6:30 on 5+. You can learn how to download 5+ by scanning the QR code on your screen. It's available for Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
And our coverage of this weather impact alert continues on 5+ throughout this storm. We'll be there with live weather, traffic updates, along with extended newscast. Just scan that QR code to learn more about 5+. Now, as we continue to follow this winter weather, there will likely be some school closings, maybe some let out early in the next couple of days. We'll keep you updated on 5 News, or we can send them straight to your phone as they happen. To get the list, just text the word closings to 479-785-5000.
And speaking of weather, let's send it over to Stephen with a check of the forecast.
Yeah, here's a look at what we're thinking. Again, anytime between Thursday midday into Friday morning, mainly we're looking at just some snow accumulation. We're going to see some heavier bands in there, but of course what we're looking at is mainly just the snow rather than any of that freezing rain mixing in there as well. Here's a look at the current alerts we have right now. That watch continues across the River Valley. Warnings for Logan and Scott County. I imagine by the time we get to tomorrow, we'll have at least an advisory for Northwest Arkansas. We look at what the system's going to be doing heading into tomorrow afternoon, coming in just after noon. Going to be starting to see those snow showers starting across the River Valley where more of that accumulation is expected to be, and then working across Northwest Arkansas into the evening hours. Then from there, it continues throughout Thursday evening, throughout Friday morning, before wrapping up as we go into the early afternoon. Here's a look at the up-to-date snow forecast for you. Minor accumulation across Northwest Arkansas, especially further north you live, anywhere between 1 to 3 inches of some snow. Generally, where the main swath of snow is going to be is from the Boston Mountains south into the River Valley, or anywhere in there we could see generally around 2 to 5 inches of some of that snowfall. South of I-40 is where the highest accumulation is going to be. That's why Logan and Scott have those warnings out right now. We're going to see some isolated higher totals of some snowfall further south you work. Again, the major impacts are going to be travel and closures, especially going into Thursday evening and into Friday morning. Again, here's another look at that accumulation forecast for you. Generally, that main swath producing anywhere between 2 to 5 inches of that snowfall in Northwest Arkansas over the next several days. Weather impact alert for Thursday and Friday. Now, the good news is by the time we get to the weekend, temperatures actually going to be into those low 40s. We see some sunshine across the River Valley and in Northwest Arkansas. Hopefully, by the weekend, we see some melting.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Well, Springdale police have identified the man who was hit and killed by a vehicle last week at John Tyson Parkway as John Powell. It happened last Thursday night by the intersection of Don Tyson and Cambridge near the Tyson Foods headquarters. Police say the driver is not expected to face charges.
Well, after the deadly crash, a local organization says they want to help make traveling safer for those experiencing homelessness. Nathan Porter is the founder of the ARC of NWA Outreach Ministries. He says he knew the victim personally, having worked with him over the years.
Porter works daily with the homeless in Springdale, offering rides, food, and clothing. He says he is collecting reflective gear, including vests, to hand out to those who may need it while traveling at night.
At least if they have it on hand, if they wear it, good. If they don't, then it's on them. At least they have it, and then there's that chance that this might be prevented.
Springdale police say last year, 17 pedestrians were involved in traffic accidents.
Well, in Fort Smith, the new fighter jet pilot program is leading to some noise complaints affecting some students in nearby classrooms.
5 News reporter Kayla Davis heard from the city and Fort Smith Public Schools on how one grant could create a more quiet and productive classroom environment.
Some students in Fort Smith are coming back from winter break to a much noisier classroom. That's thanks to the new pilot training center over at the Ebbing National Air Base. But the city may have a solution.
The City of Fort Smith, in partnership with the Fort Smith Chamber of Commerce and the Fort Smith Public Schools, applied for a noise mitigation grant. This money would help 2 local schools mitigate sound or noise associated with the F-35s.
Those 2 schools are Orr and Carnall Elementary.
They actually exist within the 70 to 75 dB noise contours because of their proximity to Ebbing Air National Guard Base.
The just over $4 million grant will be awarded by a subdivision of the United States Department of Defense.
They do all the insulation, the new doors and new windows that'll be installed as a part of this grant.
But as Orr Elementary is set to close its doors to students at the end of the 2024-25 school year, some may wonder what the new soundproof building will be used for. We reached out to Fort Smith Public Schools, who sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "The current plan is for Orr Elementary to be repurposed as a future K-12 alternative learning environment. FSPS will evaluate the process and decide what next steps are needed as the district awaits the decision of the award and the FSPS Board of Education's approval. But the city plans to use this as momentum for more than just schools."
Being selected as a possible recipient of this grant does position us for future monies as well, because this grant will continue to go on, and so it'll position Fort Smith for future possible grant funding through this program. So that could mean other local schools, that could mean other local businesses, and possibly residences in the future.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Kayla Davis, 5 News.
The city will find out if they won the award early this year. If approved, it will take a year to complete the project.
Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather. Make sure to catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more.
Have a great day.